Hey y'all. So I still don't have a name for this segment. So for now, I'm gonna just call it Tab Talk Tuesday because I have got no inspiration. ChatGPT couldn't even help me. If y'all got a good name for a segment, for this segment, where I sit here and tell y'all about these articles that I'm reading, that catch my interest, that I feel like y'all should know about as well, put them in the comments. Help a girl out. Anyway, happy Tab Talk Tuesday. Today, I'm about to talk about why do we follow trends blindly? Like nowadays, with the advent of Instagram and TikTok, like we got the TikTok shop, so that way every single trend that we see, we could just click a little button and then just put it in our cart and send it straight home. And then, we get on Instagram and whatever trends is going is what we in the store that night buying. We got TikTok dances. Like, we even trended a sauce at one point. A colored sauce, we trended that. Why do we do that? Do you think that if somebody follows trends that they're weak? Do you feel like they're a sheep, like they just follow suit? What you think about that? So, yeah. How much is the need to follow suit connected to our psychology, though? Like, did you ever think that maybe your brain might be wired to do just that? And that first question that I asked about, are you weak or are you a sheep, may not even be valid at all? Because we don't control what is already hardwired into our brains. So, how much is the need to follow suit connected to our psychology? Social connection, a psychological concept that refers to humans' core need to belong to a social group or connect with others, is what it is called when we look for these trends and we start to follow them. It's called social connection. Social connection is a basic human need, and it is a primary motivation. It was necessary for survival. Back in the day, we are very much driven to be tribal. So the things that are coming out of my mouth called words, that also comes from the need for social connection, because we got all these people that speak English, right? And all these people that speak Spanish, French, all this. You don't call it a trend when you speak the language that you are native to, right? But at the end of the day, it is a trend. It is something that was started to keep us connected, and we all follow suit by using it every single day, or using them every single day. Social connection is actually a basic human need, so you can see why children of neglect fall behind so much in social situations and ultimately in life if help is not received to cope with that neglect. So, I don't know who knows people that have been neglected, who doesn't. I feel like most of us know at least one person in our lives that have been neglected, or we ourselves have been. And this right here is why children that have been neglected fall so far behind. When I was younger, before being put up for adoption, I did not get taken care of very well. I was neglected. When I was brought into the home, I was developmentally delayed quite a bit. So when I first went to school, I was in the developmentally delayed classes. Within, I believe, 6 months of living and being placed with the parents that I will always call my parents, my adoptive parents, within 6 months of that time, I was able to excel, not only to get out of the classes that I was in for developmental delay, but also I was able to excel and go above and beyond the standards that were already set. That's why nature versus nurture is such a thing. Your environment is so instrumental in deciding how your disposition into the world is going to be. So if you are having children, understand that neglect, if you don't have time for them, neglect could be the very thing that keeps them from becoming the well-adjusted adult that you want your child to be. Social cognition, the processes that dictate what we notice and how we respond to others, largely takes place in the parts of the brain that oversee sight, pattern recognition, decision-making, empathy, and similar functions. These include the amygdala, which detects danger and difference, and the prefrontal cortex, involved in higher executive function and decision-making. Thanks to these complex cognitive systems, our brains are really good at identifying patterns and prompting behavior that communicates our social status. As a result, says Routledge, and I hope that I'm saying her name correctly, you can use almost anything to signal your membership or affiliation with a social group. You can use almost anything. This lip liner, I could embezzle it and make it a trend to embezzle your lip liner, and if I have enough money and status and influence, everybody will want a diamond studded lip liner. Not even to use it, just so they can pull it out of their purse and say, yep, I am a part of that elite group of people. So, and this is all coming from your brain, the way your brain functions. All these these are all based on the way that your brain was created, I guess you could say. They're all based on the way that, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically, you following a trend has so much less to do with you as a person and your personality, and so much more to do with the way that your brain functions and its need to fulfill hey, I'm where I need to be. I'm doing what I need to do. Giving off the right social signals lets others know which group you belong to or want to be affiliated in. So, when you see these celebrities get on Instagram and they put on these ugly ass Balenciaga boots and these ugly ass Mischief boots, the superhero boots, I can't even remember what the hell they call them, the big red boots, the fucking big red Balenciaga boots, the big pink Balenciaga boots, all these honestly hideous fashion statements. When you see them wearing them and you see post after post after post and they all happen in the same day, and then you get the who wore it better. They're doing that to show us I'm in a whole different league than you. I can drop $1,500 on a pair of ugly ass shoes. You might pay $1,500 for your rent this month. That's the point. I'm going to show you what league I'm in. So when we wear these fancy clothes and we wear these fancy chains and we do all this and we get grills and we do all this, it's a lot less about an insecurity. It's a lot less about a personality thing. It's more of our brain trying to do what our brains do. So maybe when people do that, don't look at them as desperate or stupid or whatever the case may be. Don't look at them as a sheep, because it's not that much got to do with any of that. And you're susceptible to it as well. It's just some of us are more susceptible, some of us are less, just based on the way we were raised. Psychologists have documented that when trends hit the mainstream, many of their adopters move on to their signals in... As psychologists have documented that when trends hit the mainstream, many of their adopters move on to other signals in an attempt to signal that they're on the cutting edge of culture, a social group in itself. So again, them Balenciaga boots just came out today. Everybody's wearing them. They want to be on the cutting edge. They want to say, hey, look at me. Not only am I going to fit into a trend, I'm going to set the trend. I want to be a trendsetter. So y'all will all follow suit to me. Have you noticed how fast trends start to die off? Due to the advent of technology, we have the ability to access trends faster and ultimately get tired of them faster. Think of before social media and how trends were spread. Like how long did it take for me to wear this outfit today and for you to consume that photo and be able to say, oh, I like that, I'm gonna wear that too. You got to think about it. We couldn't just snap a photo or take a live video and immediately be live streaming. So you didn't see me wearing that outfit that day. If I wore a trend-setting outfit, you'd have to wait for someone to take a picture of me, for the right person to get a hold of that picture, for that picture to get posted, for enough people to say, ooh, I like that, to start doing it, and then for enough people to notice that everybody else is doing it in order for it to actually become a trend and materialize. And I recall when I was growing up, the way that trends would come about, like silly bands, for example. Trends used to last a lot longer. And they also, I would be like the last one to get on the trend. I remember when those little erasers used to be a trend, the animal shaped erasers. I think I got those like a year after the trend was over with. The silly bands, I got them like 6 months into the trend. Like, people couldn't catch on to the trend just as fast either. It took a minute. It took a minute for someone to be like, everybody's doing that. And if I do it, then that must be that I'm a part of the group. So I'm going to do it. Why not? Why do people choose to wear outrageous clothing items? I go back to that Balenciaga boot situation. They want to stand out while fitting in. It's as little sense as it makes. It kind of makes a lot of sense. So when I say all this, I do want to bring up the point that this is why it's so freaking important to pay attention to what you're allowing to trend. Because currently we are in an era where acceptance is on the rise. So the acceptance of a lot of things that may be positive or may be negative, it's just happening. So we have artists like Sexy Red. We have artists like Lotto. We have artists like Coil Ray. We got so many different female rap artists and female R&B artists and all this and all that. And I bring them up to say, when you glorify these certain artists, especially online, what they stand for is what's going to trend. So if they stand for transactional love, or they stand for ratchetry or whatever, then that's what you should expect to come of them trending. You get what I mean? I'm not against any of it. I feel as though people, if everyone was the same, we would be bored. We need people that stand out, and we look at them and we go, they're doing something completely different. They're in their own lane, and I either like it or I don't. But what you make trend could be a net positive or a net negative. And you got to decide based off of your own morals what that is. Our brains are hardwired to notice things that are weird. So that is why, again, back to the Balenciaga conversation, again, back to the mischief boots. We see something weird. It's like a bad accident. We don't want to look away. So if I wear something that looks ridiculous on me, you're going to pay attention to me. Right? It's going to grab your attention. If I come in with some clown boots and this outfit, you're going to pay attention to me. So no wonder these luxury brands are able to capitalize on the way our brain works. I'm going to throw something weird in front of your face that you would not normally wear, and you're going to wear it because you want attention. You want to be the trendsetter. So I'm going to be the cutting edge of the trend. You be the cutting edge of the trend setting. It's interesting. It's very interesting how these companies are able to market to us. So now it makes more sense to me why those ugly ass boots are $1,500. Because they're weird and they're a fashion statement. So when you walk in the room, you're going to grab everybody's attention. So that's why you're paying $1,500 to wear these ugly ass shoes. Not because they're cute. It ain't about, no. They don't go with a damn thing. Yeah, you could wear the same exact color outfit. They just look silly. But I understand. Game peep game. I got y'all now. I'm catching on. Now, everybody is susceptible to falling prey to trends, but who do you believe is the most susceptible? I'll give you a hint. It's everybody. Nah, I'm just playing. The younger generations are more susceptible to this kind of... The younger generations are more susceptible to trends. Teens, tweens, young adults. Your brain is still forming. So those pieces of the brain that I mentioned, the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, prefrontal cortex. I thought there was a third one, but yeah, those are still forming while you're a teen, a tween, and a young adult. So it's no wonder that you're going to be more susceptible to whatever trends are coming, because that's still developing. Once that develops and you go more into like your mid-20s, almost 30s, as that develops, you're going to develop that individuality that makes you say, well, you know what? It is a trend. I see it, but I disagree with it. I don't like it. It's not for me. I don't even want to stand out bad enough to buy it. I'm not going to. Accordingly, the teenage brain undergoes rapid development in the very areas essential to social cognition. Studies suggest that the ability to recognize and read faces peaks during adolescence, contributing to one's hyper-awareness of their peers. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the region associated with logic and decision-making, is the last brain area to fully develop, making it a little wonder that teens can turn to eating Tide Pods or inhaling cinnamon to impress their friends. So pretty much like I was saying, you are still developing, and you are more susceptible during that development to do outrageous things to get attention. So again, this is why I find it so important to watch who you glorify in the media, because teens and young adults are going to get a hold of what's going on in the media. So if what's trending is ratchetry, transactional love, sex, promiscuity, hypersexuality, all these things that are not positive for teenagers, what do you think that they're going to do? You don't think that they're going to try to mimic what they see in the trends? You don't think that they're going to try to be Sexy Red, that they're going to try to be everybody that's trending? I support Sexy Red. I support her music. I support all of that. But there's a time and a place for it. I don't play Sexy Red every single day. I don't play it in the car on the way to work. I don't play it in the car on the way home unless I'm about to go party. There's a time and a place. So, that being said, there's a time and a place when it comes to what we let trend. Continue to allow her to trend, but understand if we do that, what we have to expect from the kids to come. Don't be mad at whatever comes next. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for listening to me go on and on about trends. I challenge y'all to tell me your personal opinion about current trends. And I want you to tell me, do you follow trends? Do you catch yourself following trends? Or are you more of like a, nah, I'm with what I'm with. Y'all either like it or you don't. All right, y'all. Have a happy Tab Talk Tuesday. Bye, y'all.